Welcome to Luxco Travel TV. Tonight, we will be talking about 5 ways travelers waste money trying to save on a vacation.
First way, they don't use a travel agent.
Well, most travelers think that saving money means that they can choose the lowest price, and by choosing that lowest price, it's really saving them. Sometimes that cheaper flight and that they think is so valuable costs them something more valuable.
Well,
Time.
let's use a cruise for example.
Okay.
So you go online yourself, you decide you want to pick out a cruise, you pick out a place that's going to stop at 3 places you want to go to real bad. But you want to go on a dime, not on the quarter. So you decide you're going to use an inside cabin.
Okay.
Okay, so now you're stuck in a closet for the next week. Well, for an extra $200, $300, you could have got a view. Now the view might have been ocean, but it also passes a lot of islands and other ships and things like that. There's always something to look at when you're looking outside.
Okay, that's fair.
The occasional flying fish. There's all kinds of stuff to see. And if you haven't done a whole lot of cruising, you just watch the water go by. It's awful nice.
That's true, and you can see little islands out in the water and all kinds of things. I agree. I agree. Sometimes though, they want a cheaper hotel. Now that cheaper hotel may not give the experience that they were looking for. Sometimes it adds more drama than is necessary.
Well, and here's the thing, and we're just going to use $10 as an example. So you book a cruise for $10. You go to the port, you get on a ship, you get all your stuff in the room, you get it put away, and then all of a sudden you're out walking around, they go, oh, hey, you can get a cruise package. Well, the cruise package is another $10. Oh, hey, you want to do excursions, and when you're looking through the excursions, you're seeing that you want to go for a bicycle ride at so-and-so stop. So you pay another $10 for the bicycle ride.
But this is the hotel I was talking about.
So by the time you're done, that $10 cruise is going to cost you $60.
Right.
When have you went through a cruise an agent, a travel agent? They could have set that cruise. Where did these guys tell you that?
Okay. Well, yeah, I guess you have a point. I guess you have a point. I have to think about it for a second, but you do have a point. Um, Sometimes going on those cheaper, taking those cheaper experiences to heart and just jumping on it because it was a cheap experience doesn't always work in your favor. So yeah, I agree.
There's that old saying, you get what you pay for. And sometimes you think you're getting a deal. You go to the art sale, you think you bought something for a nickel, and you find out when you got down the street, this guy next door had it for a penny. Wasn't such a deal, was it?
Wasn't. Because
So you get what you pay for. And if we're talking just straight up cruises, now you got to talk cruise lines. What are you looking for? You have children. Are you looking to get away from children? There are all adult cruises.
Yeah.
Virgin Voyages.
There are a lot of people following Virgin right now. Carnival, I heard either just came out with or are coming out with an all adult cruise ship.
Carnival has done a whole lot of different things now because of the issues they've had in the recent past. And I'm not knocking Carnival for their issues.
Yeah, I know you're not. I'm not a huge fan. I keep saying I'm gonna give them another chance. And I will at some point, but I'm not a huge fan. I do maybe their all adult cruise will be the one that helps me to give them another chance.
Well, I think that Carnival's changing their approach because Carnival used to be we're the affordable cruise line. You could take your whole family and cruise on them on the dime, so to speak.
Well, they still are the affordable cruise line. Unfortunately, lately they have been attracting different people. But now
I'm
let's
gonna
be
call it
clear.
riffraff. That's
Yeah.
what's been attracting.
Yeah, but let's be clear. That just because they don't show it as much for the other ones doesn't mean that it's not happening there as well.
That's true. And
Carnival just happens to have people who are showing them all the time.
it is happening on other cruise lines.
Yes, Lord.
And that's no doubt. MSC just had a problem with the cruise.
See?
So, and that's considered a higher end cruise line. But so, I'm not saying it's just Carnival's fault. And unfortunately, I think their marketing scheme has kind of put them in that position.
They're the party ship. They're the party cruise.
They're the party cruise.
And nobody could top them. Well, until this last time I saw somebody saying that they're losing it.
They're the children's cruise next to Walt Disney. But
okay.
Walt Disney.
You think that?
Walt Disney attracts children and families, but Walt Disney has a list of rules as long as you're armed.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, you don't fool around on Walt Disney because Walt Disney's big. It's huge.
And they do not play.
Yeah. There's no fool around. Okay. And Carnival has gotten to where they're doing that. Now Carnival will not allow anybody under the age of 18 without an adult.
Which was a smart move to me. That was really a smart move to me. However, unfortunately, they are saying that without an adult, but these kids are there with adults. The ones that were having the brawls and doing all the things. They were there with adults. It's not like that they weren't. I don't think Carnival took into consideration everything, that's going on. Now,
well, they're getting a lot more strict. They bounce some people off at the next cruise, at the next port.
And sometimes it might be rightfully so, but sometimes what if whoever the parent was just didn't have any idea that this kind of thing was happening, which I guess is a reason for you not to be letting your kid gallivant, but parents are on vacation. And so they feel like this is an enclosed space, so I don't really have to worry about my kid being, I don't know, hurt, obnoxious. I don't know.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it takes a village to raise people, the children, but some people don't allow the village to have a hand in it. My mom always said, "Don't worry about how your kids act at home. Worry about how they act in public."
Smart woman. All right, so we're gonna let them go. We're not gonna talk about them all night. Okay, we're gonna let them go. So we talked about the cheaper room, and y'all, I'm checking my notes because hey, I'm just starting doing this. So the five ways is talked about. One of the things that I wanted to talk about is, are you really saving money? So when you do that little $300, $400, $500 cruise, did you save? Did you really save? Because when you get on the ship, what happens?
They inundate you with all kinds of deals on everything else.
Baby, every time you turn around.
If you want to buy Coke for a week, you got to buy a drink package that has Coca-Cola on it. And it's going to cost you. It's going to cost you a premium. Had you bought it prior to getting on the ship,
there you go.
You would have got a better deal.
Most of the time, that is absolutely true. Or you go with somebody who includes it all. But again, if we're talking people who are working to do things inexpensively, then they're not going to think about that. They just want to get on the cruise, and so getting on the cruise is the most important thing to them. And some people have played it smart enough to they wait till they get to the ports to do their thing. Because what can you can duty free. On your way in, you can duty free it, get your kick it on, and then get back on the ship. And that is a way for saving money. And so people do that.
Pre-planning your excursions. And
it's important.
I discourage anybody from doing excursions after they get off the ship. There's a bunch of locals out there that say, "Oh, I'll give you a tour of the island." And you'll find out that their tour of the island basically takes you to their mom's house or their sister's house. And those people are all trying to sell something as well.
Yeah.
But they're 30 minutes away and you've only got 20 minutes to get back to the ship.
Mm,
Now you're running down
you're the pier runner.
the pier running,
Yeah, but
trying to get on that ship because, hey, the captain, he says he's leaving at 3 o'clock.
he's
He don't
leaving.
mean 3:01.
He does not. You better hope you got some people who already booked with them and they're running late. That way the ship is absolutely waiting on you.
Because
Otherwise, it's leaving.
if you book it through the cruise line,
They,
it doesn't matter if they're an hour and 30 minutes late. The captain can't leave.
they cannot leave you, or they have to fly you to wherever that next port is. It is a must. That's why we pay a little more and just book through the cruise line. Because this last time that we had that we went and we did some stuff in the DR and they were late. They were nice and late.
Yeah,
And
what they failed to tell anybody is that we went on the ATV cruise, and to get to it, we had to ride on a bus for an hour. So when we were done with the cruise, unfortunately,
we're done with the
we
excursion.
was stuck in traffic because it was 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Everybody was getting off of work.
Yep.
So that hour turned into an hour and a half.
But we are true, we are people who have truly actually been in that situation. So we're true witnesses to the fact that they don't leave you. Everybody was running. I'm like, why are they running? They can't leave us. If they do leave us, they gotta fly us to the next port. So, but they didn't leave us. We all made it back on that ship just fine. Now, once we all got on the ship, the captain put the pedal to the metal, baby. You could feel us moving fast on that water, but they didn't leave us, and that's an important thing. So, like, people thinking that they're saving something, and flights, going for the cheapest flight, okay, you can do that, but what does it cost you in time? Like, when we're talking about a cheaper flight, you get one, maybe two layovers, and sometimes the layovers are 2, 3, 5 hours or better. And you wanted that because it was cheaper. Please. At some point, you gotta say, is my time worth it? At 50 plus, my time is absolutely worth it. And I would rather pay the extra money. Child, we have gotten to the point where at this age, 9.5 times out of 10, we're gonna fly business class. My husband's 6'4", and I don't want to be back there with nobody's babies screaming at home. I'm sorry, I'm just not her. So,
Well, speaking of babies, I mean, perfect example. The ship waits on no one. We went on a family cruise. Our 30-plus-year-old son decided that the captain was going to wait on him. No,
true
baby.
story.
And he didn't get his insurance. He lost every penny he paid, and he was taking the little lady and the two children with. So he lost all four.
Now that's the difference. He did get the insurance, so he ended up getting half of his money back.
Oh,
He did get the insurance because I put insurance on everybody.
okay.
So he ended up getting only half his money back though, because he did that to himself. And we called him and told him earlier before we got ready to go, come on, we're gonna go get on the ship. He's thinking that getting on the ship is like, I don't know what he was thinking. But it's like, once you get on the ship, you start your vacation. Like, but I don't think he was thinking like that. So he wanted to take his people around and let them see the city and do all kinds of things. Well, doing that and not knowing the traffic where he was cost him his trip. It cost him his trip. Yeah. True story. But think about it when you're talking about those flights and stuff. Think about it when you're looking for the cheapest hotel, because not everything is cheap is gonna happen. Be clear. And especially at this age, we have actually changed how we feel about certain things when it comes to our travel.
Health insurance.
Health insurance is important. And lately, like, every time we leave, we get health insurance. Now I have a partnership with a health insurance company. And we go with Allianz, and you can choose what health insurance you want. They have different levels, but you want to have it because never know what can happen where you are. Anything can. I was just watching YouTube today, and the lady went to Jamaica. They were on a cruise. She went to Jamaica, and she was doing one of the excursions. Well, when she was jumping off the cliffy thingy, there was one string that she was going hanging by, but there was another one that they used to pull back. Well, she fell on it and the wrong way and with the wrong parts of her body. She got back on that cruise ship and they had to airlift her to a hospital. I hope and pray she had insurance. And understand that insurance for the US, you may not be covered everywhere, so you may want to double check your insurance. You may not be covered everywhere. That's why we get our insurance. We
Look at
get
my friend
insurance.
Mike.
Yes.
Mike had a bucket list. On his bucket list was go to Australia. He made it to Australia, but he never made it home.
Mhm.
Now, unfortunately, I mean, he'd had some illness. He was sick, but he ended up spending a month in Australia before he passed away, and his wife was right there with him. Without insurance, that would have been hecka expensive.
It would have. It would have. Yeah.
Oh,
So yeah, keep in mind that that is very important too. Um, so when we're talking about spending money for your airline ticket, would you rather spend the $150 but lose 12 hours of your day? Or go ahead and pay the extra $200-300 and actually have an experience? It's crazy. It's crazy to me. Uh, are you somebody who does that? Like for those types of flights? Are you somebody who wants to go somewhere and you don't think about the insurance aspect of things? You just think you're gonna be okay. I have people who will book something and I'll say, do you want, insurance? And they'll say no. Well, I won't book it. I won't book people who don't get insurance because you never know what could happen. And I don't want to be that travel agent who didn't do my due diligence to make sure that you were taken care of when you went wherever it was and you happen to have the experience this lady had today. Now we don't know if she had insurance or not, but if she didn't, she's about to have a rude awakening and a very expensive trip. They flew her back to the US, but they flew her to Miami. Her car and stuff is in New Orleans. So hopefully I will find out what happened. We'll find out, hopefully. On a cruise, your cabin location is important as well. So not only not choosing what, let me take that back. Because there are people who love inside cabins. Why? They don't want all of that light. Whenever it is they want to sleep, they want to be able to sleep. So if they decide, especially if they're on a carnival trip and they decide that they ain't coming in till 4, 5 o'clock in the month, they don't want to see light. They want it to be dark like outside. And so they choose an inside cabin. There are people who just refuse to do anything. Yeah, you to do anything below, whatever it is that they've chosen that they want to do. Okay. So like for a balcony. Now, a balcony works for us because we use it. Like we actually use it more my husband than me, but we use the balcony. Like I'll sit out there, and especially when we go on this transatlantic, I'll be sitting out there. But we use the balcony. So ocean view wouldn't work for us, and inside definitely wouldn't work for us. Trust, because I tried to say, well, it don't matter. I mean, we can just go to an inside cabin. He's like, I would not stay in a closet. I would not. It's like, okay, well then I guess we won't.
I like to be able to see outside.
Yeah, yeah. And you like to sit outside. Yeah. So he actually does use it And I use it too, but not like him. Like he uses it. He really does, and he likes it sitting outside and that kind of thing. I bet he is not vitamin D deficient. Guaranteed he's not. But yeah, so that kind of thing. Now, not everybody needs a suite. I get that. And you don't have to get the most expensive room. I get that. But what you do need to look at is what actually fits you and your family. I watched the family on YouTube. As you can tell, YouTube is my place. Um, and it was them and two kids in an inside cabin, and it worked for them. It worked for them. Not everybody wants a balcony. If they have kids that they want to go to sleep, it doesn't matter what time it is. They can turn out the lights, and those kids think it's dark, and they go to sleep. So always have to consider your situation.
You
Right?
know, I didn't think about it till just now, but there's also those luxury cruise lines. And if you're willing to pay for them, you go on a luxury cruise where you'll have a 1,000 square foot, you know, a stateroom. Now they don't call them cabins; they call them staterooms.
Suites.
But you don't have an inside choice.
No, you did not. All of them are balconies.
So if you're a seasick kind of person, or you don't want the idea of being able to look out and see the ocean go by, then that may not be the cruise for you.
It's true.
But
It's true.
if you're someone like me who likes to sit on the deck, who enjoys watching the ocean go by, yeah, that's me.
Yeah, that is definitely
And
you.
it's a bigger deck. It's a bigger room and a bigger deck.
It really is. It
So,
is. And but depending on what cruise ship you're on, that makes a difference as well. Depending on the cruise ship, the cruise line that you use, there are different factors that come into play. Even when you're talking about a balcony or higher, right? I love celebrity, right? I love celebrity. I love celebrity. I love Virgin. I love both of them for different reasons. But there, when I go on a celebrity cruise, there's not a lot of kids, and we went on a celebrity cruise during Christmas time, where you would think there would be a lot of little yahoos and running around and all that. These were the most well-behaved kids I have ever seen, I believe. The most well-behaved children I have ever seen on a cruise ship, at least.
something
Am
else,
I?
something else you might want to keep in mind, whether you're traveling with a family or it's just you and a spouse or single or however you're traveling. Like my wife, for instance, does not like buffet.
I will not eat a buffet.
Most cruise lines, you can go to the buffet area and there's a menu on the table and you put the little flag up. They'll come around and take your order for you and
That's
bring it to you. So you don't have to do the buffet thing, even though you're in the buffet area.
There's a couple who will do that. I think celebrities one. They don't do that on Carnival. I can't remember them doing that on Royal, did they?
Most of them have what they call a permanent menu.
I know they have a permanent menu, but I mean,
If
I
you ask for it, they'll bring it out to you. The permanent menu, then you order off the
learn
permanent menu.
something new every day because I don't remember that. I do know that Virgin does it. Flip it, and somebody comes and takes your order. I know that when we were on Celebrity, we had that experience, and they'll flip it, and somebody will come and take your order. But see, it's still coming off. Well, for Virgin, it's not. They don't have any buffets. But for Celebrity, it's still coming off of a buffet, and I pass. They got plenty of restaurants on there that we can go to. And so I spent some time in the restaurant with the bucket seats. The seats that look like I don't.
Egg seat.
There you go, in the egg seat, and and I don't eat that much, so it's not, like for me, a buffet one, I can't. But if I was going to, it is a waste of money for me. Like I can't go and eat all you can eat crab legs. Hurts my feelings because I love crab legs. But it's a waste of money for me. I'm gonna get I'm gonna get one, and I'm done. So I just paid 40
$30
bucks.
for
Right. For
all you can eat crab legs, and she only ate
and I ate
the
one.
child's portion.
Right. And they won't let me get the child's portion because I asked. So so I'm just out of luck.
That's the other thing you need to think about. Dining, your dining
Definite dining.
experience. You want to do in your room dining, or do you want to do early dining or late dining?
The people charge for you to dine. I'm sorry, y'all.
And you've got to get your
In
best
cap,
off to get this all planned out ahead of time.
you are, and then to know if they charge and what the charge is. Most cruise lines charge to bring you food to your room. Most of them do because they don't want you sitting in your room. They want you out and about. They want you to be roaming the ship. They want you doing other things, especially because they have like activity directors that take their time to put together all these things for y'all to do. And if you're in your room, you're not doing them. Right? If you're not doing them, and they want you out. So we're gonna take a transatlantic
Well,
cruise in May, and it's 14 days, and we only have 3 little stops. Right? So it's gonna be interesting how we do this.
if you're one of these people that wants to hang the do not disturb sign on your door and go out and goof off for the whole day, that tells that person who's supposed to be cleaning your cabin they can't go in there.
All right.
So now, 2 days later, you take it off, and instead of going in and spending 20 minutes in your room, they're having to spend an hour and 10 minutes in your room.
Yep.
So that slows them down. So they really don't appreciate it when you do that. They would rather that you let them go in and make the bed, change your towels, do whatever they need to do.
Yeah, whatever.
You know, if you've got your panties hanging on the shower rod, they don't care. They'll leave them there. But
okay, why?
I'm just saying, because a lot of people think,
Why would people hang their panties on the thing?
I don't know, why don't women do a lot of the things they do that men
That
don't do?
not that one. Well, I would hope not that one. Maybe it's their bathing suit bottoms.
Whatever. Their
Okay.
stockings, whatever. I mean, and these cruise lines all have laundry service available.
Oh yeah,
Some cost a little more than others.
that's true.
Depending on the package you get, depends on whether you want to utilize that or not. But we've cruised enough now to where I think it's worth the money that I only have to take 3 pairs of pants and one dressy outfit. Because now I'm walking on the airplane with just a
Haven't
carry-on.
learned that yet. I still overpack. I still overpack. I'm testing myself for my trip to Peru to see if I can just put in a couple of pair of dress shoes, and I bought one of those compression things so I can pack like that. We'll see.
Sucks all the air out of it.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that works. But yeah, he's right.
I would rather send 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 items even down to the laundry, have it done. That way, when I get off the ship, I've got clean laundry when I get home. The only thing I got dirty is what I was wearing.
That's true. And actually, I have to agree. That's been a lifesaver since he made us start doing that. Like, just send it. Let's let them wash it, though they don't wash very well on some stuff. Uh, but let them wash it and come home with clean clothes. That is a game changer. I can't hate on them for it. I really can't. Uh,
Part of the part of the drudgery of travel is getting ready to go and getting unpacked when you get home. The easier you can make life on yourself in either direction, the better you are. The more you will enjoy that trip. That'll be the trip that you'll remember. Even if you don't go anywhere real special, that'll be the one you remember because it was the easiest.
No drama.
No drama.
No drama. Yeah, yeah. No, I still have my favorite cruises. And don't get me wrong, because like like resorts as well. We cruise a lot more though than we do the resort thing. Um,
Well, I think one of the best trips we had was when went to the Bahamas, to Jamaica, and we used a travel agent. At the time, you
we
were not a
did.
travel
At
agent.
the time, I was not a travel agent. We used the travel agent and we went to Jamaica. And baby, when I tell you they took good care of us, they took good care of us. Oh my God, I gotta tell y'all this. Okay. I'm gonna let you tell the story.
What part of it?
The one where we were when we was on our way up there, up to the bar, and the lady was asking for champagne.
Okay, I'm a Jack and Coke drinker.
Mm-hmm.
If you go to Jamaica, Jack is not very common.
No, it's not.
Every kind of rum in the world, but Jack is not common. They took such good care of us. They got me a bottle of Jack just so I could have Jack and Coke. My wife, on the other hand, is a champagne drinker. I did not know that most of these resorts only have a limited number of champagne bottles of champagne. She can be a 2 bottle a day chick.
Better recognize.
So this is why you take tip money wherever you go. Take
Absolutely.
tip money. Most of
Absolutely.
these places you visit are third world countries, or that's what we call them. And those people live on the American dollar.
Anybody who's in the hospitality industry, no matter where they live on tips. Like they
Understand that. But
tip
in these other countries, $10 American is like $50 their money a lot of times. You know.
so in Jamaica sometimes.
So
Yeah,
we take tip money, and we were
we do
tipping well. We
all
might
the
have been
time.
tipping a little too well in some cases. But
No, we weren't.
when she walked up, there was a lady that was there, and she was like, "Oh, it's all inclusive. I want some champagne." The gentleman looked at her and said, "I don't have any champagne left." And she was having a little bit of a hissy fit.
Yes, she
My
was.
wife walked right up behind her and walked up to the counter, and the man got out a bottle of champagne and handed it to her. And the lady was irate. And he just looked at her and said, she paid in advance for her champagne.
I ain't paid nothing. All I did was tip. We tipped the whole time we were there. We tipped them. They're taking care of us. Why not?
I got my Jack and Coke. She got her champagne.
And I
And we
sat there
gave
with
the,
my bottle of champagne, and he did not give her any of it either. I had my whole bottle to myself. That was on her. You chose not to tip. And here's the thing, just because it says all inclusive does not mean that these people are not taking care of you. So all inclusive, you ain't paid tip one, I guarantee you. That all inclusive money that you paid, that went to the resort. It didn't go to the people who work there. It didn't go to the people that are taking care of you. And we are people who know that. So when we go to wherever we're going, we take that tip money and we tip them daily.
the main
Honestly, tip them daily.
the main dining area was a beautiful veranda with
Yes, it
white
was.
tablecloths. Just
Beautiful.
just gorgeous. Beautiful setting, you can see the ocean and everything.
Best seats in the house.
I
Guess
gave
who
that
got
man a tip, 10 bucks. We couldn't walk by there that he didn't say, "Are you coming to dinner tonight? I'll reserve your table." And he had us the best table
every night.
on the veranda
Every night.
every night.
Every night. That's the thing. When we are talking about going, I'll say inexpensive. I don't like saying cheap, but going inexpensive, what does it really cost you? What does it really cost you? If I'm going on vacation, I'm on vacation. I want to be treated like I'm on vacation. I want to be treated like a queen. I am a queen. Thank you and good night. I'm a queen. I want to be treated as such. And it's not that much that you're tempting, realistically, right? But it could make a world of difference for somebody that maybe you're not thinking about. Right? So, well, that'll do it for us tonight, y'all. I'm going to be doing these weekly. You can definitely catch these on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. If you have any travel needs, please be sure to reach out to me. Otherwise, I am here to say we will see you next week.
It's been a pleasure.
Bye.